What's up, everybody? Welcome to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron, and if it's your first time seeing one of my videos, I'd like to welcome you to my channel where we just chill and talk about music and all things that we love or hate. And if you have anything you want me to do a review on, album, EP, single, whatever, leave a comment below letting me know what it is, and I'll do my best to make that happen for you. Also, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a like. It helps out so much with YouTube's algorithm. And of course, if you want to support me further than that, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon. But moving on now, today we're talking about the new album, Lonely God, by Fit for a King. I kind of have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with this band. This being their 8th album, it's totally acceptable for there to be some duds within their discography. They did have a solid start though. Their first 4 albums were super good, absolute bangers, were their 2nd and 4th, Creation, Destruction, and Death Grip, being kind of considered a fan favorite. Their 5th album, Dark Skies, had some really good songs on it. I enjoyed it for the most part, but you could definitely hear some of the mainstream qualities starting to slip in a little bit more here and there. You definitely get the sense that they're trying to reach a wider audience for sure, but it's still a solid album. I mean, Backbreaker goes super hard with Ryan Kirby screaming for more than 20 seconds, but then they released The Path in 2022, which I feel like is one of the worst albums of the decade. Pretty much every single song was radio play filler, and they even ripped off a song from another band. Hoping that they would redeem themselves 2 years later when they released The Hell We Create, I gave them another chance, and redeem themselves they absolutely did. It's not perfect, but I felt like we were back at way better songwriting, way more thought put into it, a lot more creativity. You could tell that it felt like they actually cared what they were doing instead of whatever the path was. It definitely made me a lot more excited for the future of this band. And then they announced they were going to be releasing a new album, Lonely God, and they started releasing singles for it. And to give them another chance, I stayed away from the singles because I'm not really that big of a single guy, and I didn't want to get negativity in my head about the songs that they already released. So I decided to just give this album a chance and listen to it in its entirety. That way I can hear it for what it's meant to be. And I'll just get it out of the way right now. I gotta say, this album fell flat for me, unfortunately. It's better than The Path, not quite on par, The Hell We Create. The opening track tells a story of somebody who's trying to defeat their inner demons and leave their past behind, but the world around them keeps sucking them back in and they keep being deceived. Its biggest crime, what really sets you up for this album, is just how generic the songwriting is. I do like the chorus somewhat, but it's still just meh. And also the lyrics are very generic, which is also a very common theme throughout this entire thing. All the vulnerability that was found on The Hell We Create is pretty much gone. The Temple, which is the second song, unfortunately, is even more generic. The distorted vocals in the verse with a simple riff followed by the cleans in the chorus is just very typical metalcore. I will say their drummer did absolutely every single thing that you could possibly do to try and make this song interesting, at least from his point of view. The lyrics build on the story of beginning the sacrifice, but it still just doesn't really say anything. It's very superficial for you to really care about it, about what's going on with this person's life. And then we have the song Extinction, which is actually a pretty cool 2-minute-ish long song. It's basically just one long verse. I enjoy it because it's out of the box. It's not what you're expecting, especially after the first 2 songs. I enjoy it for its uniqueness. It definitely feels like more of a live song, something to get the crowd amped up and ready to start moshing and stuff. But even just listening to it with headphones, I enjoyed it. No Tomorrow was one of the singles that was released, and I still dig it quite a bit. The rhythm and the riff and the verse are great, and the breakdown before the chorus really keeps you on your toes. The somber vocals in the chorus are perfect, way better than if they made the choice to go really big with it with super clean vocals, because it's just a very typical metalcore thing to do. The bridge doesn't feel like a weak attempt to just build emotion. It feels like they put some effort into it. As far as singles go, this is surprisingly one of the better songs on the album, right along with the title track, Lonely God, which hits like a title track should. I like that the vocals didn't change going into the chorus, again, keeping you on your toes. The lyrics are a little repetitive, not that great, which is to be expected, except for in the breakdown. I feel like the lyrics were actually pretty cool in the breakdown, and it becomes super guttural as it goes into the outro. It just feels like too much of a circle pit song at times, but at the same time, I really enjoyed the the unique songwriting, unique as in just compared to the rest of the songs on this album. Monolith does a good job at bringing the energy up as well, kind of in like a live setting kind of intention, but it feels a little bit more like a rock song in essence. Sure, it is heavier than a rock song would technically be, but the chorus is kind of weird. The vocal enunciation and the riff just make it feel kind of butt rockish, a little, dare I say, Nickelback inspired. Verse 2 does feature Alpha Wolf though, and the music improves quite a bit. Alpha Wolf brings a whole nother vocal style to the song, which helps out quite a bit, and I feel like it inspired the musicians to do a little bit more in this song. It makes it a little bit more enjoyable for sure. But again, it's not really great, at least until you get to verse 2. And then we have Shelter, which is one of the slow songs on this album. And honestly, it's pretty boring. I didn't like it at all. It sounds like, again, early 2000s slow song that would be on a rock album. Very Nickelback-ish inspired. The lyrics aren't great. The music is bland as heck. Between Us is the other slow song on this album, even though it's more of a ballad, but I did enjoy it more than Shelter. The acoustic guitar adds a whole nother layer to this song that I feel like helps out quite a bit. And the vulnerability in the lyrics from Ryan, where it opens up just a little bit more, you know, he gets a little bit more personal, which is pretty cool. The vocal choices are great, and it adds to the atmosphere. And I feel like the build-up, normally I wouldn't feel this way, but the build-up going into the rockier section of the song actually hurts it quite a bit, because it makes it feel even more 2000s rock inspired, instead of just kind of doing their own thing and having it be the slow song on the album and completely getting rid of Shelter and just having this one be slow and really somber and having that thick atmosphere all the way through. I feel like that would have been a lot better. And then we have the song Blue Venom, which does feel like it is strictly made for a live audience. It's super heavy. I don't think the lyrics actually say anything whatsoever, but I mean, it's only like a minute and 50 seconds long, and in that case it's actually a pretty good song. The dissonance is super sick. The song structure feels random, which is a nice touch, and the vocals, especially in the breakdown, are gnarly. And then we have Sentient, which is one of my least favorite songs on this album. It sounds like it would fit right in with anything off of Dark Skies, and by that I mean it's probably one of the most formulaic songs on this record. You could tell exactly what's going to happen right after the intro. You could tell what the riff is going to sound like, what the vocals are going to do, where they're going to go. It's not a bad song, but I listened to it probably 4 times for this review to gain my thoughts on it. But honestly, I probably could have just got away with listening to it once. There's not a whole lot to dissect here. The lyrics are very generic. It's just standard radio play metalcore. Then we also have Technium, which is another one of the singles for this record, and also, again, one of the best songs on this record. The riff is nasty, right along with the blast beats. Land and Tours from the Plot and You is featured in verse 2, and also joins the chorus to follow. The duet between the two vocalists is just a really cool dynamic. Again, I feel like the musicians decided to be a little bit more creative in what they were playing for the features sections, and it just sounds so good. I wish they would have more features. That way the musicians would step up just a little bit more. And then we have the closing track, Witness the End, which has a really neat death metal quality to it that I enjoyed a lot. The verses are brutal, but it kind of falls apart when you get to the chorus. Chris Motionless is featured in verse 2, making it, once again, even better. The theatrical kind of elements to this song are amazing, combined with the drum work. Honestly, if they would have left out the chorus, this would have been a really, really cool song, especially for Fit for a King. I feel like Fit for a King would have been a little bit more unique, where if they just released this song without the chorus, or if they made the chorus even more nasty, I feel like that would have been a lot cooler. The only thing this album did for me is left me wanting more, which is sad because I know that this band can do it. And at the cost of increasing their audience, I feel like they made just another mid-tier album that avoids being offensive, creative, original, thought-provoking, and because of that, it makes it very easily forgettable. And all the music on here is easily acceptable. Again, kind of radio play-ish, which I feel like it will increase their audience. It will increase the amount of casual listeners that they get instead of diehard fans, which is pretty sad because every band wants diehard fans instead of casual listeners. But that's not what makes money nowadays. So I feel like Fit for a King is kind of leaning more into the money-making side of the business as opposed to the really cool art, creative music making side of the business. So yeah, with that said, I gotta give Lonely God by Fit for a King a 5.1 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. I have a feeling coming off of the Hell We Create, it was kind of iffy on what this band was going to do next. So leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of Lonely God. Let me know what you would rate it, what your favorite song is. Also, if you enjoy this video, again, don't forget to give it a like. It does a lot with YouTube's algorithm. It helps me emotionally. And also, if you want to help support me further than that, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon. Doing any of those things helps me out tremendously. And I just thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me sit here and talk about music, even if you happen to agree with me or not. Just thank you so much, and I hope you have a good rest of your day or night whenever you have been watching this, and I will talk to you guys next time.